How about now? Is that better? Can you all hear me? All right, all right. Voice meter was just acting up there. It, for some reason, lost its connection with the microphone. All right. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing okay. I'm Bill Sylvie, the Dungeon Delver, 5x5. That's right. And if you know of any other Dungeon Delvers, please send them my way. I'd love to meet them. Thieves' Cant is a Brooklyn accent. I wasn't aware. I was not aware. Wait for the cord. Yeah, I need something like that. Actually, I did this time. I don't think it was the microphone. I think it was actually voice meter was acting up. I do believe it was just voice meter. But anyway, how is everyone? How are you guys? Enough about me. How are you guys? Plus, with this show's budget, I don't know that tape is in the is affordable. So let's talk about what is affordable, of course, and that is the Great Underground Online Gaming Convention, which I have a question for you guys. I do have a question for you. I'm sorry you're not good, Rich S. I'm sorry you're bad. Are you bad in the sense of like ZZ Top, you're bad, you're nationwide, or are you genuinely having a bad time? Because I hope you're not genuinely having a bad time. For real. For those of you who might not be aware, for those of you who might not know, we're doing this little thing, and I just linked to it in the chat. Ah, good, you're fine. Okay, so you're bad, you're nationwide. We're doing this little thing here in June. It's June 22nd to June 25th, and I'm going to put this up on the screen. It is the Great Underground Online Gaming Convention, and it is the second. It is the second. That's right, Huey Lewis. Sometimes bad is bad. And it's a convention. It's an online, it's a virtual convention, which we are holding from Thursday the 22nd until Sunday the 25th, where for the total price of $0, unless you want to donate or buy merch or both, you can come and hang around on a special Discord that I have set it up. And you can play all kinds of games. Now, we tend towards the classic RPG side of things around here, around the Delver's Dungeon. But it is not necessarily so that, like, well, I don't play OD&D or AD&D, so I guess I'll just eat worms. We have a lot of people running a lot of stuff. Doomsword Deathmaster will be running an AD&D tournament. There will be prizes, plural. Some of those prizes will be provided by Doomsword, which I think there's a cash prize associated with that, by the way. Yeah, that's right. You heard me. I don't know that he settled on the amount, but it's not insignificant, even in today's inflation period. But Doomsword will be running an AD&D tournament with prizes, there will be a cash prize, and there will also be physical prizes provided by our friends at Hellebarde Games, who, by the way, sponsored this live stream. This live stream is brought to you by Hellebarde Games. Hellebarde makes the kind of adventures that they would like to play, whether it's 5th edition, OSR, or Castles and Crusades. Old School is in play at the table. You can find them at DriveThruRPG or on their website, hellebardegames.com. And right now, they're actually running a sale on all of their in-print 5th edition products. That's a swamp full of mystery lizard men and adventure, or a caravan trail full of adventure locales. You can find those on the website. And if you use the discount code 5EOOP at checkout, you'll receive 50% off your purchase of in-print, that's physical copies of adventures from our friends at Hellebarde Games. But Hellebarde is providing more than just that. They are providing prizes for the AD&D tournament. Not just Hellebarde game stuff, but AD&D stuff. So I'm hyped about it. We're going to have some merch coming up. Dungeon Minister, as I understand it, I could be wrong, but as I understand it, Dungeon Minister will be providing a merch design for us. And I'm excited about that too. So there'll be all kinds of stuff. The glasses in the drying rack from last year. But Dungeon Minister made some awesome merch for the con. You don't want to miss out for that. I don't know what the design will be. But Dungeon Minister, are you bringing? What are we going to do? We're going to do T-shirts, mugs, and pint glasses again. I hope. Dungeon Minister is going to a company like Teespring or somebody like that. I don't think Dungeon Minister is going to be doing the silk screening there himself. But I could be wrong. He could surprise us all. And by the way, I should point something out. We'll see you, Light Main. Drive well. So Dungeon Minister says it'll be a company that does all sorts of stuff. No, shipping's not terrible. I ordered a pint glass. It wasn't, And by the way, Dungeon Minister's design are fantastic. I love them. But anyway, moving back to what I was saying about, speaking of Dungeon Minister, if you're subscribed to my channel and you're not subscribed to Dungeon Minister's channel, what are you wasting your life on? Go get subscribed to Dungeon Minister's channel. Also, RPG Grandma, also Vile Necromancer. Love seeing some of my favorite peeps who have YouTube channels. And by the way, speaking of subscriptions, we are at 4505. Is it? Yeah, 4505. That's not shabby. I like that. I kind of did one of these today. I wonder if it was. I just wonder if it was goofiness on YouTube's part. I don't know. But there's lots of small create, and I consider myself one of them when I say small YouTube D&D folks. I'm not saying there's plenty of you plebeians out there. No, that's not where I'm coming at this from. But greetings, King on the Mountain. And I'm looking forward to seeing those designs, Dungeon Minister. I am sure that they're going to be awesome, and I may leak them. I may leak those designs. But anyway, to go back to what I was saying, talk to Tonka Todd, because he's got this awesome thing on Discord. He's got a Discord channel. We've had kind of one informal get together so far. We have got a great deal of good cross promotion going, but I definitely, if you have a tabletop role playing game themed media push, whether it is on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, whatever, but it's something you want to see grow and it's something you want to build, then please, by all means, let me know. Let Tonka Todd know on our Discord, and we'll get you involved. Because, guys, a rising tide lifts all boats, and I definitely want to see that. Like Vile Necromancer, he's up to 103 subscribers. RPG Grandma has 110, which is just awesome. And I mean, I don't know what their goals are, but I would absolutely love to see them all get to the point where they too can monetize, which is 1,000 subs. But to get back to what we're talking about, there's a lot of cool stuff lined up. Now, a question that I have for you guys. Okay. Now, if you're out there and you're sitting on the fence, or maybe you're up in the bleachers and you're not going to participate, either time won't let you, or you're just not interested in coming to the Great Underground Online Gaming Convention, I understand this might be a little bit inside baseball for you. You might not care. But I got to ask those of you who are interested, first of all, if you're interested, some people have said, yeah, I was able to sign up and make myself a game master, no problem. Some of you, I had to go in and manually put you to GM status so you could register games and get people interested. So please let me know. I am the only guy. It is all on these shoulders. So, like, if you mention it on some rarely used part of the Discord, I could miss it. I try and keep an eye on all that sort of stuff. So at me, email me, say something here, super chat me 10 cents so I have to see it. But let me know, and I will do my best to look into the issue. And so a question that I have for you guys is, somebody was saying that lots of folks were asking him to be in their games that they're running at the convention. And he said, should I respond to them just on Warhorn? Should I do it? Is there a special place you want it on the Discord? So my question to you guys is, do you want a channel on the Discord where you can just look for gamers and recruit gamers to your events? Let me know. And it's literally like 2 seconds of typing and I can do that. Amerifetti, why don't you run Caverns of Thracia? Why don't you do that? Run it. Show us your steel, Amerivetti, who, by the way, is Fuchsia Cone, I believe. Just make sure I have an after-con discussion called Beer and Guac Tales. Nice. So far, our events for the con, the unfortunate reality is I can't really have like a dealer's area. Oh, Vile Necromancer. We were just... Speak of the devil and he'll soon appear. How are you, Vile? I hope you're doing well. Say, I haven't run a game since I was a kid. No books, no rules. It would be a disaster. Well, I mean, how bad could it be? How bad could it be? Derek says, I've never played a game on Discord. Derek, it's up to the game master. It can be as simple as text. It can be as advanced as text and audio, or they could have a camera and maps and a virtual tabletop. It's literally going to vary. Just like if you go to a con, somebody, a game master might say, okay, character sheets, dice, pencils. That's it. Or they could say, okay, character sheets, dice, pencils, battle mat, meeples. Or battle mat and miniatures, or miniatures and terrain. It's literally gonna depend on what the individual game master wants. Tucka Todd is our neighborhood lurker above, but he never drops down on us. How do you register to be a GM for the Guac? Okay, now that is a good question, because as I said, some people were able to just go in and they registered for the Guac and they were automatically set. Others had to follow some instructions that were written by Doomsword. And then other people tried to follow the instructions and they can't. So some people have figured it out on their own. Some people have done it using the instructions. And some people don't see the things that the instructions give you the option to do. So if you need me to go in and manually set you as a game master, let me know. You can message me. You can best is to private message me or ping me in the Discord. Yeah, Toppled, this is an online event. It's right there. The great, it's right there. The crab should have told you. He's been kind of tired. He's been knocked off his perch a few times today as I was trying to straighten up as my energy levels are slowly coming back. But so no worries, buddy. No worries. But yeah, no, we have the Great Underground Online Gaming Convention 2. To be a DM, there's a verbal component, a somatic component, and a material component. Death, destruction. There's a reason that in insurance, AD&D, accidental death and dismemberment, and Advanced Dungeons and Dragons share the same letters, not least of which because Gary was an insurance underwriter for Fireman's Fund. But anyway, so if you need Rich S., I'm banned from Warhorn because of something back in 2012. Oh, I gotta hear that story. Are you for real? Are you for real, Rich S? But anyway, so if you like go through the process of getting signed up for Warhorn, and like you can't had me worried there, man, and you can't register as a game master, but you want to register as a game master, let me know, and I'll twiddle the bits and make it so that you're a game master. So I'm very much willing to help you suss it out, because I want this to be a successful thing. But I was talking about events. Yeah, we can't have we can't have a let me see. I'm getting a message here. Okay, I saw your message, Vile, and I'll go in and I'll go into the admin panel and I'll make it so that you're a DM. But anyway, so no dealers panel, but we will have an artist alley. And I know at least Tracy Lesh will be on the Artist Alley. That is Saturday afternoon. So, you can listen into the live stream. You can have it running in a window. Tracy's going to have some merch for sale. He's going to be selling some autographed prints, and he's going to be talking about his days as not just a TSR artist, but working for Marvel, working for other RPG companies, and his independent works as well. So that's at least one on the Artist Alley. What else is happening? Let me see. I've reached out to some people, and I don't want to say, oh, this person's going to attend, and this person's going to do stuff, and this person's going to do stuff. But there's some folks that I hope can make it and can run games or be willing to do like a panel talk or something like that. And if you like for the first GUOGC, I was very surprised by this. We actually did have a panel discussion. We had someone come and do a panel. It was it was Ricky Maru and a friend of Ricky's came and they did a panel together. I think the panel was about running a successful Mork Borg game, but don't quote me on that. I'm not 100%. I was running a game at the time myself, so I actually missed their panel. Will there be a share your images or AI art channel? Probably not AI art, but if you want to be on Artist Alley and have prints and so on and etc., just reach out to me and let me know, and that's absolutely fine. Tracy is awesome. Tracy's one of the most fun people. I love having Tracy on the show. He is always a lot of fun. I got this super cool. This is a Nuka-Cola zapper, thirst zapper, that my daughter got me for Christmas, and I haven't had a good place to put it. I thought to put it over here on the shelf behind me, but one, my big fat melon blocks it, and two, the support legs unfolded make it highly untenable. Like it will fall if you think at it too hard, and I don't want it to break because it's just made out of plastic. But I thought, hey, I can just hang its legs over the back of the monitor, and there we go. So I'm kind of figuring out. I thought stuff would be better illuminated, but it's not. Like this is a pin. This is my "I survived till death do us part" pin that I got from Heidi and Eric, and it doesn't show up real good. Rich wants a Gary Gygax stance. I ain't doing that. What you guys do in your hotel rooms between convention days is entirely up to you. Yes, please, if you do like this video, click the like button, give it a thumbs up. And if you're just stopping by, if you're like, hey, YouTube recommended this weirdo, why am I watching this? Please click the subscribe button and the bell icon for notifications, because I do more than just this. It looks like it's pointing at the crab. It's the thirst zapper for the crab. The crab just opens his mouth and gets a little shot. So, but yeah, we'll be doing a lot of interesting stuff. Tomorrow, the show tomorrow, I think we're going to get into Dark Tower a little bit. Old Redneck provided that to the show. We got that on, was that Monday that we got that, or was that last week? I don't remember. I feel like it was last week. Anyway, Old Redneck provided the show with a physical copy of Dark Tower. Greetings, Trace. Hello. So, Trace, are you going to attend the GUOGC 22nd to 25th, the Great Underground Online Gaming Convention? But anyway, so he asked me, and I hope, Old Redneck, I'm not outing you or anything like this, but he asked me if I'd looked into it yet, if I'd gotten a chance to read it yet. And frankly, I haven't. I've been busy taking care of things, getting everything set up with the GUOGC and making sure that's going on, and trying not to run out of energy, because, you know, and yes, I'm still going to look into the Wim Hof thing, guys. Don't at me about Wim Hof. Oh, you got your AD&D Dungeon Master's Guide reprint. How wonderful, Vile. But anyway, so yeah, I haven't had a chance to delve into Dark Tower, and I thought we might start taking a look at it tomorrow. And he asked me, he was like, you know, I'm kind of wondering about something. So I'm curious on what he's wondering about, but I also want to get into it. I want to dig into it. Greetings, Mobius. Speaking of the AD&D Dungeon Master's Guide reprint, now, I'm not being cynical and I'm not baiting you guys. I honestly don't think the channel will have 5,000 subs. Yeah, we just lost one, 4504 now instead of 4505. But I don't think we're going to hit 5,000 subscribers by the time the convention is over. But if we do, we're going to have a raffle that's going to have two prizes. Now, it's not first prize and second prize. It's not like, well, one is awesome and one is a booby prize. No, there's two prizes. They both have the same status. Prize number one is the high quality color print on demand reprints of the Dungeon Master's Guide, the Player's Handbook, and the Monster Manual. Prize number two, or the other prize number one, I should say, will be a bespoke OD&D booklet. It will be something like this. Oh, that's the supplements. It will be something like this, which is all three OD&D rulebooks printed into a single volume. I don't know that I'll have that the cover will look like that, but there you will have Men and Magic, Monsters and Treasures, the Underworld and Wilderness Adventures in a single volume. You will have a single volume OD&D. If we hit if we hit 5,000 subscribers by, I'll say, 5 o'clock Eastern Standard on June the 25th. Oh my God, a 4-point font. Does it come with LASIK? It gets printed how it's printed. So, and if you don't know what the 1E AD&D reprints look like, see if I can get this without knocking anything off. That's famous last words. It's like everybody creates secondary accounts. Call in your simulacrums. The reprints, there's the cover to the Dungeon Master's Guide. Now, this is the one that was released back in 2014 from Wizards of the Coast. I don't know that the print-on-demand copies come with a ribbon. Well, you know what? You just got yours, didn't you, Vile? Did it come with a bookmark, with a ribbon bookmark and gilt edges? But this is what the cover will look like. And here is what the monster manual will look like. And finally, here's what the player's handbook will look like. Use some book glue and add in your own ribbon. That's that. There you go, man. That's you kit bash, right? You kit bash. So you'll get all 3 of these volumes, and then someone will get the OD&D softback if we get 5,000 subscriptions on the channel. So if you would like a crack at those, but you're not subscribed, please do subscribe. Please help the channel grow a little bit and get yourself a chance to win some classic Dungeons and Dragons rules. Then you need all Dragon magazines 1 to 100 on CD. Someone should get book glue and ribbons. Should I add that as a surprise? Check my Discord. Everything is Discord. Life is Discord. Oh, I love it. I love it. Oh my gosh, I wish I could. You know what? Here, I'm gonna... Guys, we have the 2023 Great Underground Online Convention merch art. You guys are going to love this. I love this. This is fantastic. This is so cool. That's design number 1. Okay. Do you want me to wait before I show anything till you send me all the designs, or can I share this one? It's up to you. Because I love this one, but I can't wait. If you've got something that's almost as good or better. Okay. So this is one of the designs. This is one of the designs that, oh, I can't. All right. The Dungeon Minister has got for merch. Dude, you put in some work on this. I don't know that we're voting. I'll decide ultimately which one I like the most. Here, I'm gonna temporarily move that. Beware of the guacatrice. which it would be 100%. It's almost perfect. It would be 100% perfect if this was the third one, but it is 2023, so I can't really, you know. But that looks awesome. The guacatrice or guacatrice. So we're waiting on some more merch designs then from Dungeon Minister, but I love that one. I can't wait to see what's next. So that's very, very, very cool. I do rather like that. Where is the Dungeon Minister? You did a good one there. I can't wait to see what else you got. Shut up and take my money. Might try a different font. Yeah, I mean the guac could be a little bit clearer. An official guac tournament module. I thought about that. I thought about releasing something for the con, just like you attended, like you signed up, so you get this. Not necessarily maybe anything I would run. I've kicked the idea around. I've got a lot on my plate. Vile says he'd be more than happy to write one. Tattoo. See, that looks like something that could be on a bottle of hot sauce, and I mean that in absolutely the best way. You know what, Vile? I'll talk to you about it. I like the idea, but I don't want to overly burden you. I have not played the Fallout TTRPG. No, I have not. Have you? And is it any good? You'll have to tell me. Gamma World TV. I know there's supposed to be a Fallout TV show in production. I'm kind of interested to see what they do with it. I'm a little distressed that the guy who, like, the showrunner has never played a Fallout game. Like, has no investment in the lore. I'm seeing that more and more and more, and I don't like it. I don't like it at all. And I was, you know, it's kind of lies that media companies tell now. It's like, you know, well, you know, we think this is something that original creator would have really liked. We know that original creator would have wanted to bring this to the whole world this way. So I don't know. Rings of Power, Conan, Star Trek. Yeah. Although I will say, I've watched like 2 episodes of Strange New Worlds, the one where we start off with Commander Pike. My initial fear was that they were altering the timeline so that Pike would not be the commander, or rather that Pike would not be involved in the fire because he'd kept having visions of himself being badly injured in the fire. And that. Like, he would take steps to avoid it, and then Kirk would never be the captain of the Enterprise, and then it's like, the politically incorrect James T. Kirk would never come to rise. But apparently that they're not doing that. He's gonna almost die in the fire. Everything's gonna play out exactly as it's supposed to. Now, a new Star Trek TV show with a new James Kirk, not the one that the free one that you can watch on YouTube, Star Trek Continues. I don't know about that. I don't want them to remake the original episodes. Like, I don't want to see, a new take on Doomsday Machine. The planet-killing space robot was just misunderstood. I don't want that. Nobody wants that. The original Star Trek forever. That's right. That's right, Vile Necromancer. And by the way, this may be an unpopular point of view, but there are 4 seasons of the original Star Trek. 3 of them live action, 1 of them animated. You might not be a big, huge fan of the animated series, but it's still Star Trek. It's still the original cast. It's still written by the original writers. And the film's up to, but not exceeding, the Undiscovered Country. So that is my opinion. Jimmy says, I just wish Howard would stop making TV shows and get back to making video games so there's not 15 years between releases. Well, I mean, he's still got to release Skyrim for the next 2 generations of consoles. Skyrim came out in... when did Skyrim come out? What was it, 2011? So yeah, we've still got to get another at least 3 years out of Skyrim. Yeah, 2011. Yes, Galaxy Quest was great. Botany Bay. Oh no. We have to get out of here, Captain. I tell you, why am I going blank on this? Walter Koenig at conventions for the longest time would tell absolutely, yeah. Truman announced that we had defeated Japan and also that Skyrim was coming out. Walter Koenig tells this hilarious story where Khan meets Captain Terrell and of course Chekhov on Ceti Alpha 5. And, he says, but I never forget a face. Well, that's not possible because Walter Koenig wasn't a cast member, which means that Mr. Chekhov was not present on the Enterprise at the time. The logical explanation is that he was present on the Enterprise. He was simply off duty. Like, there's 500 people. Chekhov's not going to be on duty the whole time. And, wound up playing a a minor background role in the entire episode. Yeah, that shout. This is SETI Alpha 5. But here's the story that he tells. So the reason that Chekhov was not present, he was very ill. He had a very bad case of space intestinal flu. He was in the sick bay almost the entire time that Khan was attempting to seize control of the Enterprise. Now, when they bring Khan to the Enterprise for the first time, understand he's been asleep for 200 years. Now, guys, fellow men in the audience, when you wake up in the morning, what's the first thing you got to do? And the longer you've slept, the longer that takes, and the more urgent you are. Khan had been asleep for 200 years. So when Khan gets up and he's in the sickbay of the Enterprise, he heads over to the bathroom, but poor Chekhov is in there. And he's got the space trots. So Khan is crossing his legs, he's dancing around, he's walking in circles, he's tapping his feet, he's drumming on the wall, and finally, poor Chekhov stumbles out of the head, leaving a smell that the life support systems of the Enterprise can barely cope with. Khan's back teeth are floating at this point, but he's got to go in there and deal with that. So he looks at Chekhov and says, I will remember you for this. That's the story that Walter Koenig told for a long time about why Khan so acutely remembered Chekhov when Chekhov never appeared on screen with Khan in Space Seed. Thank you. It's actually a joke of all the people that have done the blueprints for various enterprises that there's only one designated toilet on the entire ship. They've done it as a prank. Like you're marveling in all the corridors and passages and this, that, and the other. But if you stare at it long enough, you realize there's no toilets. I didn't know that, Damien. That makes sense. I don't like the clans in Battletech. I never did. I always thought it was a cop-out on FOSS's part that they didn't. Oh, we don't want to have aliens. And yet that is almost exactly what they did. That's almost exactly what they did. Is they added aliens. I mean, the clans are so weird and so estranged from human. One of the great things about Battletech was how relatable people could be. I mean, you go back to like the early Great Death Legion books and so on, and I mean, it is barely above Mad Max level on some periphery worlds, right? Like you find sheet metal from an old ground car, you hammer it in place to cover bullet holes in your mech. You put painter's tape on the inner cockpit screen, cut thin strips of painter's tape because you haven't had a functional targeting system, not what they would consider a functional targeting system in 3025. That mission has had one for 75 years. Now, I didn't mind that we got the tech jump that we did because of how it went. Every house got some. I didn't even mind the union of the Federated Sons and the House Davian and House Steiner, the Federated Sons, and why am I going blank on this again? And the reduction of House Lau into a rump state. King on the Mountain, I hope you come back $300 richer. The Lyran Commonwealth. Thank you, Damien. The Lyran Commonwealth. I didn't even mind them being in a union and House Lau being reduced to a rump state. I honestly didn't care. Because, tech slowly coming back and Comstar sliding into relative obscurity, it was a slow process. But then the clans showed up. And you think, okay, they haven't lost their technology. They've continued to advance technology. Why do you still have battlefield missiles that can't fire over a kilometer? If you do the math, and I've done the math, a Javelin or a Hellfire would tear a hole in a battle mech from 3 kilometers away. And the best you can hope for out of a Battletech weapon is about a kilometer. So imagine 3 Javelin teams ambushing an Atlas and shooting at that big, meaty, bulbous head. Bang, bang, bang. Bonk. I'm sorry. I'm getting onto some inside baseball about Battletech, and I apologize because I realize some of you guys might like Battletech, but some of you might not. But I just feel like they missed an opportunity. Like they could have gone full on like battle armor. I always thought the battle armor looked so stupid. But if the clan battle armor had been how they'd gone, if they're like, yeah, no, battle mechs are dumb, so now we have power armor suits, we can swarm a battle mech and tear it to pieces. I don't know. Metatron's enjoying the Battletech talk. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, by the time MechWarrior Dark Ages came along, nobody cared. I know what they tried to do. Oh, the Chaos March, like just the core of the inner sphere is now in complete tumult, and you have worlds that have fallen back to the Mad Max style thing. But then I don't know. Yeah, Damien, but they're long. It's like, oh, the long Tom can shoot. What is it? 10 map boards. Oh, that's incredibly far. Outrange that stuff with World War II guns. Hello, Crafty Matt. Hello. Greetings. Yes, you missed most of the first hour. I'll prattle on for a bit longer yet. Oh, and the Arrow, 5 map boards for the Arrow or whatever it is. Big deal. HIMARS is like, what, 30 kilometers, 40 kilometers? If you go for an advanced tactical missile, it's like 90 or 100 kilometers. I just, you can take Battletech for what it is, but it's not even remotely realistic. And it kind of, if they had just left it alone in the 30 teens to 3025 era, it's like stuff is just not getting any better. It would make sense. Your Uber Tech mech suit just got blown up by World War II howitzer. Yeah, exactly. Do you want to duel giant robots or play Battleship? And there's the rub. See, there's the rub. The game Heavy Gear that came out not too long after BattleTech started, about a decade after BattleTech, did what BattleTech was trying to do a lot simpler, a lot easier. They did make a MechWarrior game for SNES. Yes, they did. And I used to talk to my buddy Eric about it. God rest his soul. Eric wrote the 3D graphics engine for MechWarrior 2. He worked for Activision. But of course, they licensed it out a lot. And Eric knew his way around programming well enough that talking to him about MechWarrior for the SNES and how it used Mode 7, which was a sprite scaling raycasting engine. And he was always intrigued by it, by what they did. Battletech Kaiju Edition? Is that what you're saying, Tonka Todd? Kaiju, like Godzilla, that sort of thing? Like literally multi-100-foot tall robot monsters fighting each other? I don't know. Now I have on a shelf over here somewhere, it may be down here, it may be somewhere around here. I'm not going to go digging for it. Yeah, Crap Phone. Eric was an exceptionally talented programmer. The last thing he wrote. No, I think I'm going to save that until next week. I'm going to save that for next week, when we remember Eric properly. But BattleTech, or Robotech rather. Robotech was a very interesting RPG, and I have the core rules and one or two of the other supplementary books, but I never actually played it. How did it play as a tactical board game, like mechs shooting at mechs? You guys all have to tell me. Robot Jox was essentially a BattleTech movie. No, maybe. I mean, it kind of, like, you can see little bits and pieces of Dougram model kits. Played like all Palladium games. Well, I mean, the mech shooting part. The mech shooting part. I mean, I know like, you know, you get in a shootout with some micronized Invid and it's going to play out like a Palladium game, or your interaction skills or trying to figure out tech or something like that. That's all going to play out. But I just mean the giant robots dueling for land and resources. Fair enough. But I got into Heavy Gear, and I do like Heavy Gear quite a bit. I did a video a few weeks ago because DreamPod 9, well, they've just been dreaming. They haven't been dead. DP9 has done high-quality scans of all of their Heavy Gear 1.0 books. You can get those on DriveThru RPG now. I think you're missing an A in there, Tonka. It's Kaiju. I played a little bit of Rifts, but I played Rifts. Volcano God ran it when he was here in the Orlando area. But we played Rift's Savage Worlds. So it was in the setting, but not using the Palladium role-playing game system. I've heard good things about Tribe 8. It is something. It's its own thing. It is very much its own thing. Had someone once describe Kingdom Death to me as Tribe 8, the hentai version, but man, yow. Ugh. Post number 17 in this 2006 thread is from this video's host. I'm confused. You can't share a link, Doomsword, if that's what you're trying to do. If you're trying to slander me through old links, it's from me. Yeah, see, it doesn't show. Like, you would have to message me or something like on Discord, because it will not show a link. So researching something on the internet and came on a post about Combat Initiative, whether it's playable or not. Oh, that, yeah. I mean, look, in my defense, that was almost 20 years ago. I mean, I don't know what you're referring to, so if I said something ridiculous, no. Yeah. No, I've come back around. I think it's playable. Apparently, there are dragons in BattleTech called the Branth. I know there were. Well, I guess that makes 3 aliens in the BattleTech universe. There is a BattleTech book called Far Country, where they meet these sapient bird-like men. But it's because of a missed jump, they wind up like they don't even know where they are in the galaxy. And it had apparently happened at some point in the past with another jump ship, and the bird-like men, because they're kind of stooped over birds with wings growing out of their shoulders, they worship the wreck of a lamb, a land air mech, a transformer. And in an out-of-print BattleTech book, which I kept my copy for the longest time and ended up selling for an okay chunk of change. It's called The Sword and the Dagger. The Sword and the Dagger is basically how we wound up with the BattleTech universe where it was. It's a really, really, really incredibly important piece of BattleTech fiction in terms of it started the Fourth Succession War, which of course led to the merger of House Davian and House Steiner, and really, really advanced the clan invasion and so on and etc. But The Sword and the Dagger was written by a lady named Ardath Mehar, and she wrote it on spec. But in going back and looking at what she'd written, like, she really, really, really detested the graphic violence and everything like that. And her contract with FASA was such that they only got one print run of it. They couldn't reprint it like they did the William H. Keith novels and all the other BattleTech novels. Stackpole, yeah. So it was in response to yeah. Yeah, the nobody played 1E jive. That's always stuck in my throat. I'm sorry. I'll go all the way back after I first taught myself how to play D&D with the Amalgam. of books that I used when I wasn't the DM, we played first edition AD&D. But anyway, to get back onto the BattleTech talk for just a second. Yeah, Ardeth Mahar didn't like what she'd written. She thought it was ugly and violent. She just didn't like the themes of death and destruction in the book. So she was like, after the first print, that was it. If I'd known at the time, I would have bought 4 copies, right? So I ended up holding on to my copy of Sword and the Dagger for a really, 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 really long time. And then I sold it a few years ago. I was like, it's a curio. I don't really care about BattleTech. I need the money more than I need the book. I think I ended up selling it for $100 or something. We'll see you, RPG Grandma. Second edition hit in 89. Second edition rolled through in 1989. I've played second edition. The only D&D that I have not played is fourth edition. I read enough of it to know that I wasn't really interested. And like 87 was about when I stopped playing D&D. I kept playing role-playing games off and on again. I still played, like, it's funny because from a computer standpoint, I was playing more fantasy role-playing games than I had when I was playing D&D. And I was playing, of course, the Gold Box games, but also Wizardry and the Bard's Tale series and Temple of Apshai, Sword of Fargle, and all that sort of stuff on my Commodore 64. And when I got seriously back into RPGs around 89 and saw that second was out, it didn't look like D&D that I'd remembered, so I had no great attraction back to it. Plus, all the guys that I was gaming with had gotten D&D out of their system in the 70s and 80s. So they weren't interested in playing D&D anyway. When we played fantasy, we played Rollmaster, Fantasy Hero, Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, and MERP. And that was it. That's what we did for fantasy RPGs. So we actually didn't touch D&D from like 89 to 97, 98. When we went over to play a short-lived D&D game that my friend Tim, God rest his soul, was running at his house. And he was like, yeah, you know, I just kind of mixed things up. So to make up my character, he gave me a player's handbook and said, you can borrow that, you know, you can keep that. Well, we didn't end up keeping on with the game, but the game ended up sitting on my bookshelf for the longest time. And I was going through a box of books. You know, I firmly believe that if you move from point A to point B, when you moved into point A, if there are boxes that you had not looked at, that you had not opened, that you had not dug through, and then you move to point B and you still have those same boxes, throw them away. You don't need what's in them. You clearly don't need what's in them. Now, obviously, like baby photos, things like that, no, but, you know. So before we moved, I was going through all of the boxes, and I found my copy of Keep on the Borderlands. And I was leafing through. I'm like, man, this was a minute ago. And then I found that player's handbook that belongs to Tim, and it was like this sudden just lights on moment. And I started looking around. I drove my poor wife up the wall because we would spend like a Saturday driving to used bookstore trying to find Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. That's what we did. We didn't just go on the internet, or at least I didn't at the time. And then I didn't know Paul at the time, but I got a hold of Paul through Usenet, the treasure trove auctions on Usenet. And I bid on the treasure trove, and I won a stack of classic modules that were in horrible condition, and a stack of AD&D core books. And I asked on that group, this is the funniest part. I asked on that group, I said, boy, I'd sure like to have a copy of Deities and Demigods that had the Elric and H.P. Lovecraft stuff in it. And a guy said, I have one here I don't want. Do you happen to have a copy of Cyberpunk 2020? Yes, I did. I said it was in good condition. He said, I'll take that and $20. I dropped a $20 bill between the front cover and the first page, packaged it up, sent it off, got a copy of Deities and Demigods. And then over the ensuing almost 3 decades, I've gotten a total of like 13 of them. So that's how I came back around. Jimmy says, as much of a Tolkien nerd as I am, I can't imagine running a campaign in Middle-earth. I've done one Lord of the Rings campaign. I used Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. I threw out all the ugliness, your brain bursts and burns if you try and cast a spell. I used the mechanics, not the setting. And I set it early enough in the Third Age that the party was not going to get caught up in the War of the Ring and the Black Riders and that sort of thing. But there were still foes that they could face. It was kind of an interesting approach. Mad Conductor says, I wish there were AD&D books in the local flea markets, bookstores. See nothing around here. Yeah. It can be frustrating, sometimes triumphant. And I've told this story before, but I'll tell it again. Here in my neck of the woods, there's a local used bookstore, and I don't want to denigrate them. Doomsword knows who I'm talking about. They're just up the road from me a little ways. They have an okayish selection of RPG materials, but my God, this guy got bit by eBay fever. Now, I'm talking a fair few years ago, before you could make the claim, well, that's still cheaper than it actually is on eBay, because there's stuff on eBay now. Like, if I'm just gonna pop this open just for funsies. Let's see. If we just go here and Advanced Dungeons and Dragons Dungeon Master's Guide. I mean, I'll share this with you guys, but this is nuts. Look at that. That's held together with bicycle tape, and they want $50 for it. Like, I would take that book and $10 from you out of pity. But there's one $70, $160, $300. There's one being bid. It's got a couple of days. It's only $10, but $53. If we go, let's see, let's do US only. And let's scroll down and sold items. There's the second edition one, 50, 51, 67, 60, 125. That's a reprint in shrink. But this is a while ago. And this guy over at this bookstore, you know, he hopped on eBay or hopped on RPG for sale or whatever's. And, you know, he was charging $40 a pop for middle and AD&D books. Books that at that time were like $25. That's a good question, Rich. No, I think that's a fair question. I'm going to put that up on the screen. What is my opinion on PDFs from the Trove for AD&D? Bad karma, acceptable since out of print. Okay. I hate Wizards of the Coast as a corporate entity. Okay, I hate them. I think I've made that pretty clear in the news videos and so on and et cetera. But I'm not going to let that drive my ethics. I wouldn't steal from someone just because I didn't like them. I wouldn't, you know, I don't do that. Now, there are things like the tournament copy of Lost Caverns of Sojkamp. You'll never see it. You'll never own a copy. You'll never hold one in your hands. I guarantee you. The green copy of Ghost Tower of Inverness. The blue copy of Hidden Shrine of Tamakon, which has art you'll see nowhere else. ST1 Up the Garden Path. It's awful. But if you really want to see it, if you're like, no, I want to put that in my Greyhawk campaign. Rich, if you guys would connect through another route, I'd appreciate it. I'm not like, don't you dare or anything like that. But if you guys would connect through another avenue, I would appreciate that. There are things in the D&D world that you would never get a chance to see if it was up to collectors. I hate FOMO. I hate the idea that just because you aren't rich enough, and let me tell you, there's a lot of guys who have these rarities. They weren't there either. This is not like, well, you know, I was a teenager at the time and I went to WinterCon 5 and I got my copy because I played, I played in WinterCon 5 and I got this copy. You know, like, well, I happen to have $3,000 and I saw one on eBay and I said, I want that. So it's going into a vault. I mean, whatever, it's your money. But for things that are absolute unobtainium, things that you cannot get a physical copy of, if there's a scan of it out there, go for it. Okay? You can't steal from someone who doesn't exist. All right? That's costing nobody money. It's the same with Dragon Magazine. You know, it's like Dragon Magazine, number one, if you can find a copy, is hundreds of dollars. They're now pretty rare. And there's good stuff in there. Now, if it's stuff that you can absolutely buy a PDF of, no, I don't think. I don't think that you have a right to take, because let me tell you something. I have books in the works. Okay. I want money for them. I want to be paid for my efforts. I want my friends at Frog God Games, Necromancer, you know, they made the Lost Crypt. They published the Lost Crypt for me. I don't want that to be pirated. I realize I can't stop it. But in brief, if we're talking about something that there's no avenue to owning a copy of, and you want one for having that thrill of looking at something that is historical and is out of print, by all means, if you find an avenue to get it, get it. All right? You're just irritating a collector, but you're not costing them any money. All right? You know, you're not rusting staples and then buying old stock paper to run through your laser printer after you let it yellow for a little bit too. And making fake copies of Lost Sochconth to try and flip. At least I guess you're probably not doing that. I'm certainly not. I played a little bit of Vampire, Robert. I played a little bit of Vampire. So that's my stance on PDFs. If we're talking about things that there's no avenue to own, and I don't just mean like, but I don't want to pay for it. Like, you can get a copy of the Dungeon Master's Guide from DriveThruRPG. But what you can't get at DriveThruRPG is a copy of the Dungeon Master's Guide, which only has 228 pages. Ends at like Appendix E or something. Has a different cover. Same for the Monster Manual. Amerifet. There you go. The 76 tournament edition of Lost Caverns of Sochconth. We actually did a deep dive on S4 and started with that. That edition is, the monsters are very different because there's a lot of stuff Gary hadn't invented yet. Drelsna, I think, is actually a male, or it's not specified. It's just Drelsna the vampire. I don't know that he'd said she was a her. I don't know that he'd created the deep legends of Igwilv and so on. But it is a very different beast, and there's no illustrations in it, I should point out. There's the maps, there's a cover illo, and that's it. But yes, I did play. I did play a little bit of Vampire the Masquerade. So let me share this one more time with you guys. Where is it? Is it over here? No, it's not over there. There it is. So, and this. So there you go, guys. If you're not already subscribed, or rather, if you haven't already signed up for the Great Underground Online Gaming Convention 2, there's a chance. Go sign up for it. Run a game. Run several games. Play in a game. Play in several games. It's going to be fun. We're going to have merch. We're going to have prizes. We're going to have an artist alley. It's going to be a lot of fun, guys. I highly, highly, highly recommend that you give this a shot. If you've never done a virtual con, I mean, it's all the fun of a convention without having to leave your home. If you feel like you have to have tired feet and spend too much money, buy a 6-pack and pour 4 of them out and drink the remaining 2. There, you paid convention prices for beer. Order a pizza from the local pizzeria, throw away all but 2 slices of it. There you go. Stay up all night. You need a Gamma World player panel. You mean like a live stream Gamma World game, or you just want the people who are in the Gamma World game to talk? I'll leave that up to them. Do we need more players for Gamma World? I don't know. We'll have to see. You just want talking. Yeah. Rich, park on your neighbor's yard. Give him $20. Or ask all of your neighbors to park on your yard and slowly drive around your neighborhood waiting for one of them to pull out. Or ask all of your neighbors to park on your yard and in your driveway and in your front seat. Park as far away as possible, leaving your car in a very sketchy place, and then hike all the way back to your house. Amerifatti wants to cosplay as Bogo Jorts. I want to see that. We never landed on a specific visual design for Bogo Jorts, or at least I didn't. You'd have to get with Bogo Jorts creator for what that would look like. But Amerifatti, if you do that, you may win the first and in all likelihood last ever GUOGC cosplay contest. Well, that's up to you, Orbital Man. If you want to do a panel, and talk about Gamma World, sign up for it. If the netcode is still working, can we play Shadows over Mystara during the con? I don't mind. If you want, Damien, if the netcode is still working and you want to set up a convention event of playing Shadows over Mystara, absolutely. I know a lot of pen and paper cons actually have beat 'em up tournaments too. I remember at GaryCon in 2019, I did the virtual it was GaryCon 2020. I signed up and I ran 5 games. It was crazy. I did have the full con experience. I was staying up so late that I was doing game prep because I was doing game prep late at night for my games the next day. Barely getting any sleep, sleeping on the couch, and then our refrigerator broke. Like I had to go buy a new refrigerator in the middle of the convention, and Ty Beard, who I hope to see this week, Ty Beard was like, you did have the full real world convention experience. Like, yes, I did. I didn't enjoy it, but I did it. That's no, it has to be a role-playing game themed one. I'm sorry, that's it has to be something geek culture role-playing game related. You're not going to do a panel just to yell at your kids. Hey kids, sign into this. Okay, Dad, what is this? Go clean up your rooms. What do you think, money grows on trees? No, I'm not taking it to the mall. Oh my gosh. Could you change your user handle back to Fuchsia Cone or Americone? I don't care which. Just calling you Amerifatti just it bugs me, man. It bugs me. But anyway, I think we're probably going to wrap up there this evening, guys. I'm kind of out of stuff. DM'd at the AggieCon tournament back when it was Dinosaurs Roam the Earth, and I'll just add, if you want an authentic con experience, forego bathing for a few days. Yeah. Speaking of which, I need to get a shower tonight. Not that I haven't bathed in a few days. I need to get a shower tonight. I didn't get one this morning. But anyway, I may push it and get one tomorrow. Anyway, guys, that's where I think we're going to go ahead and leave it. Crafty, thank you for being here. I hope I answered all your questions. Guys, please check out the Great Underground Online Gaming Convention, too. We have merch coming. Oh, no, that's okay. If it's a Russian bot insult, then keep it. I approve of that, if you're making fun of Russian bots. We have merch coming. The con itself will be here sooner than you think. It'll be here sooner than you think. It feels good, Jimmy, and I would say that probably late this week, early next week, you guys are going to see the GaryCon footage finally. Thank you, Dave. I will take it easy. But if you're not already subscribed, again, please do click the subscribe button. I do so very like it when folks subscribe to the channel. It is muy helpful. But until then, guys, tomorrow night we'll be back. We'll do a little bit of a look into Dark Tower. We'll get some into Dark Tower and talk about that tomorrow night. So have a lovely evening, everyone, and sign up if you haven't already, again, for the GUOGC. Peace, everybody. I love you all.
Have you seen my owl bear? Here's to all the weirdos everywhere in the woods and in the air. Have you seen my owl bear? Should I shave off all my hair? Bobs are all around. Some live in tunnels underground. Some are fat, some are rich, some are sleeping in a ditch. Can you ride a crooked horse without a saddle, way off course? Naked as a toad, all the way to Smoky Joe's. Have you seen the little creep driving fast in his little green Jeep? He smells like fish and brandy, but his rotten teeth look dandy. Take me to the show, I don't care if fast or slow. From action flicks to dancing dicks, just take me to the show.